After years of planning and incredibly hard work and fundraising, we are ready to unveil the inclusive playground here at the Mackay Center of Philippi Leighton Schools, a playground so that every child can play. Over the course of this podcast, we'll talk to some of the people that made it happen. Campaign co-chairs Pierre Boivin and his daughter Catherine Boivin are here and joining us. Congratulations on this amazing day and the opening. You just saw the playground. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts.
Pretty amazing. We had seen pictures when we launched the campaign. It's been long in coming together, but it's certainly well worth. The result is absolutely fascinating.
Catherine, as you looked at the playground, what was going through your mind?
Very different from the parking lot that I used to play in back in the 80s at Mackay. It's impressive. Honestly, it's amazing. It's so fun and colorful, and
you were a student here once, right?
I was not in this
building,
facility, but yes.
Tell me a bit about the evolution of inclusivity from when you saw it to where we are today.
Well, I mean, I think many social issues, it's evolved, thankfully, in a good sense. This is an example of, universal access and inclusive design, inclusive architecture. I think the most important thing is that it's not because it's inclusive or universal that it's less fun for anyone else. So it's really a way of thinking about design as a whole, the environment that we interact with, that we live in, for it to be accessible to everyone doesn't make it less accessible or less interesting for people who don't have different types of disabilities or abilities. So any kid could have fun in that playground for sure, and kids with different mobility issues or sensory issues don't have to sit on the sidelines and watch other kids have fun, but they can actually participate and be a part of that fun.
And that's why this playground is so important.
Absolutely.
Mr. Boivin, I assume you were asked to take on many leadership roles in the city. Why was this one important to you?
I'm looking at her. I mean, it was such a natural project to get involved with. I was approached at first, and immediately, I thought of involving Catherine, and she immediately, obviously, said yes. So, number one, it's a very necessary project, and it was a very interesting project because I think it's the first one in Montreal. And hopefully, it will give an example, and there will be others in the future in various communities. And Catherine understood the need for it, as she's just expressed a few minutes ago. So to be able to give back to the school where Catherine, frankly, really learned how to cope with her handicap, got her first wheelchair training at Mackay. Not in great or as good of an environment, but to be able to contribute and give back to an institution that was so helpful to her in her early age, I think was the reason why we took it on.
Talk to me about the importance of giving back in philanthropy.
Well, it's something that's evolved over the last couple of decades. I think we still have a long way to go. In Quebec in particular, it's certainly very deeply rooted in many cultures and in many spheres of society. But in Quebec, we still have a ways to go, and that's something that has evolved over time and is definitely going in the right direction. People and then the next generation, I think, really understand the need to give back, particularly when you've been fortunate. So it takes a while for philanthropy and the gift of giving to be deeply entrenched in the values of a community or of a province or a country. But I think we're really going in the right direction. I think we see it in all of the campaigns that are being run today. And let's face it, there's a lot of wealth that has been created in the last 30, 40 years in Quebec, all over North America, all over the world, but Quebec is no exception. So it's important for these people to realize that when you've been fortunate, you need to give back. But there's not just the gift of donations, there's the gift of time also. So this community has a lot of volunteers and a lot of people that allow organizations, non-for-profit organizations, to be able to fulfill their mission. And so the whole area of volunteer work is very important to the success of many, many community organizations.
Yeah. You said giving back time, Mr. Boivin talked about that. Tell me what it means to you to see the partners and the experts and the donors, everybody come together and give of themselves to this project.
I mean, it's invaluable for projects like these to come to fruition. You know, I think it's a good sign that more and more organizations are coming together and across private and public entities and working together to create environments that are beneficial to those less fortunate or those who have different needs in society and in these types of institutions like schools and playgrounds. So yeah, I think it's a necessary step forward in how we build our environment.
I'm curious if you have any words for the students, perhaps words of advice for the students and the families here at Mackay Philippi Layton Schools.
Words of advice about?
Just to the students, what would you tell the students of the school?
That's a big question. I guess. I mean, my experience here was definitely one that allowed me to kind of spread my wings and feel like I had the means to develop and accomplish things that I might not have felt in a different environment at a young age. I think, the sense of belonging and the sense that, you're seen for who you are at a young age and in a school environment is really important. It's not always easy to have a difference, and move about the world with a visible or invisible difference. So places like the Mackay Center, I think, are a great way to start your journey in life. And I would hope that the students here and the parents of those students take those lessons with them throughout their life journey and other environments. And I guess, don't be afraid to be who you are. Yeah.
Well said. And I'd like to ask you the same thing, advice for parents, and what message do you have for the student body and the parent body of the school?
Wow. Not much to add to what Catherine said. I mean, I guess my message would be, and it's what I did, because when Catherine was at Mackay, I was asked to serve on the board of directors and be involved in a campaign at the time. Can't remember what it was for, but it was a small campaign relative to this one. So I think understanding and appreciating what an institution like this can do for their children, being supportive, not looking to criticize, because you can always find things that aren't going the way you like or that could be improved, but be very constructive in whatever observations you make, and truly appreciate the staff and the people who are committed to your children's education and their inclusiveness and their, as Catherine has mentioned, their ability to discover that they're a human being like anyone else, and they just happen to have a difference. And how can they overcome that difference and have dreams and have objectives and have goals in life. This institution gives them that opportunity. So I think as parents, we need to support our children in the same way that the institution prepares them for life. But we also need to support and encourage the people who work in institutions like these, because they're very special people. These are special places, and it's the people that operate them that make them special.
Thank you both for joining us here, and congratulations on a fantastic opening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob Simpson is the interim vice principal of the Mackay Center's Philippi Layton Schools. Congratulations and your thoughts as this playground is officially open.
Wow, it's been a long time coming. We are so excited to finally be here where the kids are going to have access to it. They've been seeing it, the construction as it's been going along.
Are they excited?
So
they must be super excited walking by.
Yeah, well, they don't understand when it's actually, they walk by and they're so excited to actually see, how all the pieces have come together and to be able to go out and use it.
The campaign slogan, "Every child has a right to play." Talk to us more about that.
You know what, for me it speaks to inclusivity, which is something we strive for here. And it basically has to do with all the kids having access to a playground that benefits them and is suited to their needs. So for example, we have so many different stations within the playground that were researched and people had input on to be able to find what best suited the kids in our school.
And certain aspects are super unique to this playground.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anyone else in Montreal that has these. So like two of the stations that are on a playground are very unique. One of them is a wheelchair swing. So if you go to a lot of parks, you'll see adapted swings that are modified for students with different disabilities. But in our swing, actually the wheelchair rolls onto it. And so the child can stay in their wheelchair. And although some of you might ask, like, why would they want that? Because some of our kids, they're most comfortable and they're safest in their wheelchair. So for them to be able to have that opportunity to be safest, comfortable, and still be able to use the swing is amazing. Same thing with our merry-go-round. Again, another piece of equipment where the child will roll onto the merry-go-round in their wheelchair. And then to be able to have friends come onto it. So it's not just for them, but they can have a buddy come onto it. So it's for people who are ambulatory as well. So we have the best of both worlds.
And it makes them feel safe, independent.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Tell me a little bit about how this improves the lives of students, specifically here at school.
Oh, wow. You know what? Play is so important for all kids. So play allows them to work on their motor skills, allows them to socialize, it allows them independence, it allows them risk-taking within reason. And we want our kids to be able to have all those experiences as well. But we need to create a playground that best suits them. So I think that meshes the two together really, really well. So I think it's super exciting and it's going to be enjoyed by all.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Arlene Rosenberg is a physiotherapist here at the school. Congratulations on the opening. Tell me a bit about your thoughts on the opening of the playground.
Thanks. I'm excited to speak with you today. This playground is quite a few years in the making, and we're extremely excited from the rehabilitation side. It's a very unique and special playground. It has lots of different features that kind of addresses the needs of all of our clients here at the center.
Well, I want to talk about those special features in a second. They're amazing. But for you, it's especially important because throughout the year, you bring the kids to playgrounds.
Yeah.
Tell me what happens when you bring them to playgrounds.
So as part of my role, I go to local playgrounds with our clients or the students. We go to all different communities all across the island of Montreal, and I kind of evaluate what is it that the student can do? Can they go up the stairs? Can they go down the slide? Can they walk on the sand? And say, okay, what can I adapt here to make it work for them? What's so wonderful about this park in particular is that I don't have to do that. There is something for every single one of my clients in this park, and that's what makes it so special. I'm really looking forward to using the playground in my therapy sessions, to watching the kids at recess, for them to come with their families and play. It's really just a fantastic opportunity for our families.
What kind of features are you most excited about?
So in addition to these swings and merry-go-rounds that are wheelchair accessible, we also have tactile maps on the floor for our visually impaired students. We also have high contrasting colors, which is great for kids with visual impairments. So it's really hard when you have things like green grass with a green playset with maybe some brown. It makes it really difficult to navigate. This allows them to differentiate. It reduces fall risk, which for me as a physio is super helpful. It's wonderful. and it allows them to better interact with their environments. That's amazing. We also have like a musical component where kids maybe with sensory issues or, that music is really, really important to them. They can play and they might, use their two hands if they're only using one, or, access it with their wheelchair. So that's also wonderful. We also have really nice umbrellas over the entire park, so that makes everything a little bit more visually friendly. Shade is great because when things are really sunny, if you're walking outside and you don't have your sunglasses on, maybe you're not going to be able to see, you're like squinting. So this allows us to be able to see better, and especially for children with visual impairments, it's so important for them.
The slides are a bit different as well, right?
Yeah, so the slides are amazing because we have a lot of children with auditory issues, so maybe they're using a cochlear implant, and in a regular park, you can't go down a slide with a cochlear implant.
Why not?
It interferes with the system itself.
Okay.
So this slide that we have doesn't do that. So it will allow them to actually go down the slide, to be able to interact, to go race down with their peers. It's really special and exciting.
And I noticed there's no sand.
Yes. Oh, for me, that's so important. So sand is something, great. We play with it. We can roll our tracks. We can use shovels. But it's really hard to walk on. It's really hard to roll a wheelchair through. It's hard to, play with our peers. Sometimes we can't sit on it, or sensory-wise, it can be difficult too for some kids. So no sand means better access, better enjoyment, better play. It's just, for me, really, really important and exciting.
As a physiotherapist, and you see these kids daily, talk to me about how far we've come in 2024 to being more inclusive.
Yeah, well, for me, play is such an important and fundamental part of childhood. Really, play allows us to grow socially. It allows us to grow fine motor and gross motor skills. It allows us to develop friends and to just, be out there, get healthy. And parks like this, like the one that we are building here, allows everyone to do that. Not just those of us who can walk or can run. In a wheelchair, I can roll up the ramp and play with my peers. I can play tag, or if I'm visually impaired, I'll be able to interact and to, just be a child. And at the basis, that's why I'm here, is to make sure that everyone that I work with gets to be a child and to have fun. And so I'm really excited about this park.
Enjoy the playground. I'm sure you will as well.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Nick Catalifos is the Director General of the EMSB. Thanks for joining us.
I thank you.
Your thoughts on this incredible day and this opening?
Look, this is an incredible day. It's very special to all of us at the English Montreal School Board. It's certainly very special to me, both as Director General, but also as a parent. I have to say, it was quite an emotional day to see the yard ready and open for the students here at Mackay to enjoy. I think that I'm very proud of the fact that we put so much work and effort into this, and I'm certainly very, very grateful to Mr. Boivin and to Catherine for their role in making this a reality, along with all of our donors.
And certainly a lot of hard work went into this, and the staff here at Mackay Center as well.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I want to touch upon the staff a bit. I think that there's an incredibly special group of people that are working here and that put in an incredible effort day in and day out to ensure that some of our students who really need quite a bit of support succeed and do well during their academic journey. And I just want to do a big, huge shout out to all of them, the administration and every single employee here, for the incredible work that they do, for their level of commitment, the level of support, and the fact that they really do love their students. And
on top of the fact, you must be so proud that the EMSB as a whole, the EMSB's commitment to the special needs community in Montreal.
Well, again, I think we have a lot to be proud of from that perspective. We're doing a lot of work with special needs in general. We have students who come from a wide variety of backgrounds, as you're well aware, with a wide variety of needs in some cases, and we do our very best to make sure that we help them to succeed. We advocate, we work on the programming, we work on the curriculum with them, and we try to ensure that they do well in a safe and nurturing environment. And I say that not only as Director General, but as the parent of a 22 autistic-year-old man who has done me proud, certainly as a dad. So I really understand what the parents are going through as well. And from that perspective, again, I'm going to thank the employees, the staff here for the work they do.
Talk to me a little bit about the playground. You had a chance to see it's a place where every child can play.
Well, that's what's making this day so emotional for so many of us. I think that playtime, playgrounds are obviously an integral part of the educational experience in schools. We do our best to give kids the most opportunity possible to enjoy themselves and to play, to socialize, to learn from each other. So from that perspective, it's really important that we offer playgrounds and playground equipment that are adapted to different needs. And in a case like Mackay, that's of particular importance. So to see these kids enjoying themselves, learning from their experience in that playground, making friendships, creating bonds, I think that is a very, very special thing, and that's something that all of us need to be particularly proud of.
And certainly Mackay Center, this place plays a crucial role in our community.
Mackay has always played a crucial role in our community, as you said, and I think that it's a beacon of hope for a lot of people that have had a tough time with some of the challenges that they face as families. And from that perspective as well, I think that the school has taken on a major leadership role in and of itself in terms of what it offers to the community at large. So again, kudos to the people here, but not just to the employees, as I mentioned earlier, and certainly the administration, but to the entire community at Mackay. The Habilitas Foundation, all the volunteers, the parents. This is genuinely a community. And because of the work of that community, we see the results today.
And finally, your message to the parent body and the students that'll be using the playground.
Well, again, first of all, I hope that the kids really enjoy themselves. I think they're going to be thrilled when they get out there and they get to see what's been done for them. This is really about them, and that is the message to the parents as well, that we're doing everything that we can to make the experience of our students the best possible that it can be in our schools. So we hope that they enjoy themselves out there. We hope that they have a good time with their friends or colleagues, as well as their teachers and the other staff members here. And on a final note, I'm just going to point out that this project is successful because it was very much a public-private project. We supported it from the perspective of the English Montreal School Board, but we also had a great deal of support from a number of foundations and other donors, including the Boivin family. And to them, I say a huge, huge thank you as well.
Congratulations on the opening.
Thank you very much.